Larry, if you can unmute us, that would be great. Let's see. So, sorry, what'd you say, Larry? Oh, great, thank you. So with that, let's call to order for the September CSE meeting. Shall we do a roll call, see who's here? All right, John Coyne.
Coyne, yes, I'm here.
Coyne, sorry. George Edwards.
Here.
Ethne Good.
I'm here.
Wonderful. Jeremy Holderfield. Judy Hotchkiss.
Here.
Wonderful. Amanda King. Mona King. Rosalba Ledesma.
Here.
Anthony Musav. Salvador Patino. Brittany Clinton. Keith Wilson.
Here.
Tase Wilson. And Steve Winter. Well, we cannot approve the minutes from August without a full quorum, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into presenting the projects that we will be reviewing, which are Fire Station 3 and the Washington Park Phase 1. 1 second as I share my screen. All right. So for the first project, we have Washington Park Phase 1, site plans and elevations. So the site is located in the center here off of South Broad Street. They're currently working on the side that is southeast of the river. Currently, the site, this is a picture of it from the parking. What we are looking at right now is actually where the second entrance for the parking will be coming in. This is the current condition of the paved paths, which will be redone. This is the existing restroom area. It is currently going to be replaced. The new restroom, I think, is slightly going to be repositioned. Here's a picture sort of down the site, looking at the restrooms. This is Shelter 1, which will be renovated, if I remember correctly. And here's an example of one of the site entrances, which will also be renovated and improved while maintaining the characteristic of the Washington Park sign above it. And this is it from across the street. One of the things they will be adding is crosswalks in these areas, which I think should help a lot for pedestrian entering the park. Here's an example of another one of the paved paths that needs to be repaired. This is also Washington Park Shelter 2, which will be renovated. Here is the entire site map. In the center, the new comfort station is that restroom that we're looking at. And then Shelter 1 next to it is going to be added a new shelter, Shelter 3. There's currently just a concrete patio where that will be built. And then Shelter 2 is farther down south, which will also be renovated. And then they're adding in a new access drive for maintenance vehicles that will be connecting into the trail system. So as far as the new shelters go, this is the general appearance, a stone foundation with timber framing and a shingle roof. This is the new restroom design. It does not take into account the site elevation, but this is the overall appearance. It is tying into historical design for the restrooms that I believe was done in the early 20th century. They're trying to bring back in earlier designs for the project. So the TARP committee was pleased with the addition of another vehicle entrance because the current entrance is not safe for two-way traffic. The committee agrees that the lighting in the park needs to be improved. They will also be adding improved lighting, more lights in the area. The committee is concerned with the alcove created by the storage attached to the front of the new comfort station. Maintaining high visibility around the entrance is important. So the restrooms have a storage area that kind of butts out in front and creates two corners near the door, and the committee was concerned about visibility. The committee was pleased with the non-conforming but historically relevant style of the new comfort station. And staff was pleased with the addition of new pedestrian entrances along with the improvements to the park's existing pedestrian entrances to increase accessibility from the surrounding neighborhood. Staff was also pleased to see the addition of the historic lighting posts along the pedestrian paths through the park. Comments, questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Is the restroom facility, is that on a lock? The lock is on a timer?
I would not be able to answer that. Could someone from the project?
Yes, the City Recreation and Parks Department regulate that. It's open at, I guess, sunrise when the park is open, and it's closed at sunset. And then they winterize the facilities as well. So typically they're not open in the colder months of the year. We are adding a plumbing chase that will be heated, but the rest of the restrooms would not have heating or air conditioning. So.
Thanks.
So they'll be open in the winter, but not heated.
I think that's correct, except on severely cold days.
Okay. What do you think the likelihood is of getting the plan changed to do something about the bump out that the committee didn't like?
Dakota, are you able to pull up that master plan that had those actual renderings? We included that shows what the old...
There, right there, where the guy is standing.
Yes, but we're going back to the historic sketches from the 1930s. Do you happen to have those, Dakota?
1 second. I might have to go searching for that.
It's on that master plan that I sent. Yes, sir. But that would help show you what was there before and sort of why that's still a part of the design.
It may take me a minute or two to get that up.
Will there be any lighting on the building to help with any concern with safety around the entrances?
Yes, the architect's not on the call, but there is a recess lighting that will be part of this that will help with vandal issues. And then they've got the windows relative to those allowing natural light into the space as well.
All right. I have found it. Let me switch screens. All right. Can you see the historic drawings now?
Yes.
Wonderful.
So there in the lower right, or the two on the right side there represent the elevations that were part of the drawings in the archives the city had. So the shelters show on the left, but this comfort station was what was originally discussed for Washington Park. It actually says on there, I believe it's 1932, if I recall. And then relative to how this looks on the west elevation there, which is the one furthest to the right, that's similar to what we have. And that is an area that was shown to be part of the design originally.
Dakota, if I could comment on that.
Certainly.
This is John Larson, City Council, South Ward. We spent a lot of time looking at these restrooms and particularly looking at the character of the historical part of the Washington Park complex. It's an expansive park, as you may know, but the area that's being focused on, particularly in this phase one, is the earlier part of the park, which includes lighting issues, pavilions, and sort of this rustic look that's being created. This bump out actually is serviceability in the sense that it provides access to the plumbing core of the building itself. So you got water and sewer lines. There's a common wall between the women and the men's side of the room, and in that space, which is heated, is the water sources for this building. So, and not only that, the park needs a little bit of space for storage and administration. I mean, these parks are not without the need to have supplies, for example, stored on site. So it is a functional part of the building, and I would hate to see it removed, particularly since it conforms to the original design of the restrooms that were there.
I suspect the committee was more worried about security than anything else.
Yes, that was the main concern, just making sure that there was visibility so that there were no blind corners.
Right, so people don't feel like they'll get jumped.
Mm-hmm.
But in theory, they'll be closed at night anyway.
Yeah.
I would imagine that the siting location of that restroom facility would facilitate visibility. You know, if the entrances are pointed towards for instance, the playground area, then I think that would alleviate some of that concern of visibility.
From my understanding, they are rotated so that they look up the hill towards the other shelters.
Okay. That's in the general kind of direction of the playground as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would agree. And that's similar to where it is now and where the water and sewer services are currently coming into the site. It is positioned a little more directed towards the shelters than the playground.
Okay.
Any other comments or thoughts? Okay. Now I'll get back to the presentation. The second project is Fire Station 3. The location is just when North Liberty Street passes over 52, or sorry, under 52. There is currently Fire Station 3 already existing there with two main buildings, one used just for storage and one for current habitation and the fire trucks. This is the existing fire station as seen from North Liberty Street. This is looking down or north on North Liberty Street at the project. Looking south, you actually can see the storage building. Both buildings will be removed, and the new building will actually be closer to where the current storage is. You can also see the fenced-in area for the firefighters. These are some existing trees on the site. The larger ones should be remaining. They are planning on saving those. This is the storage unit. I believe they're also trying to save several of the trees, larger trees in the back that you can see. This is the front of the storage unit as seen from North Liberty Street, and I believe these trees here on the right are the ones they will be keeping. As far as the new site plan, that first building to be removed along with the storage, the fire trucks will be able to enter and exit from North Liberty, but all other traffic is going to come in from the southeast of the site. The firefighters will be getting their own fenced-in parking that will be the leftmost parking on this plan. And then the building itself is divided into 3 main bays. The 2 side bays are storage and habitation areas, along with a, I believe, emergency medical service area. And then the central bay is going to be for vehicle storage. And that central bay is actually has a typology that is tying into the airport. They're kind of going with a curved roof to be reminiscent of the airplane hangars. The current direction they're going with the project is to just have 2 vehicle entrances. The original design was 3, but it looks like they're have to make a budget cut on that. And the committee found that the original 3-bay design was a little bit more balanced as far as massing goes, and allowed the curved roof to have more presence. If the 3 bays cannot be fit into the budget, then trying to increase the height or curvature of the curved roof would improve its impact as a part of the project. The committee would also like to see the size or number of windows increased to add more natural light into the living spaces in the fire station. The current windows appear to be a little too small. The committee would also like to see the sidewalk extended to the fenced-in parking for the firefighters, so they have a more formal entrance instead of having to walk through the parking lot. The committee also felt that the vehicle access on the back of the sites and the rear access to the building was a little too tight for large vehicles, though they were informed that that will be changing and was not yet final. The staff comments, staff was pleased with the use of a curved roof typology from the Smith Reynolds Airport in the project. They thought that was a nice use of context. Staff would like to see changes made to the signage above the fire truck bays. The large 3 makes the signage feel imbalanced. It would look more cohesive as Winston-Salem Fire Station 3. That change was actually made after staff comment, the staff report was sent out. It, instead of reading like 3 Winston-Salem Fire Station, now reads as Winston-Salem Fire Station 3. And staff is pleased with this change. Comments? Questions?
Is there any landscaping other than the trees that are going to be kept?
Certainly. They are adding a good number of wide oaks and bushes to kind of hide the parking and mechanical areas from view, along with some sourwoods and wax myrtles. So
do the firemen have any sort of outdoor area for their own use while they're off while they're waiting to work, go out?
I do not believe I saw one in the plans or site plan.
Does look like
Okay.
that sidewalk is there though in that picture.
So that sidewalk is connected only to the parking for visitors. The actual fireman's parking is the fenced-in area that is just to the left of that. So they were hoping to extend the sidewalk over to that area and add a gate so that the firemen didn't have to walk through the parking lot.
And we have done that. That has been done.
Wonderful. Any other questions? Bill, were there any additions to the site for firemen to have outside recreation?
There is an area. Well, how to describe this? There's an area of concrete to the plan south of the apparatus bay.
Mm-hmm.
It's off of the red rectangle on the right.
Okay.
South of that is an area that's not really used anymore since we moved the entrance over. They've got area there. That's where they put their grill and that kind of stuff.
Oh, good. And then that where the existing building is going to be taken down, that'll just be grassed over or whatever.
Correct. The reason the building's located where it is they want that station to remain in operation until the new one's done.
Right.
So that's why we push this over here. But their long-term plan is to build another vehicular storage building over there for some of this equipment to keep it out of the weather, generators and things like that.
Okay. Sounds like a good plan.
Any other thoughts? All right. Well, I don't believe we had any more join us, so I don't think we can make any votes on anything. Will we be able to do the CAC award selections?
No, again, that requires a quorum. I'll just add that for anybody who's watching, that the comments of the TAPR will be forwarded as the comments for the full CAC per bylaws. But to go into the Educational Awards Committee, I'll give an update. We can't do the 3 award selections because it requires a quorum. So I'll have to arrange a special meeting of the CAC so that we can stay on task. Just basically to select those 3 winners. That's for the George Black Award, the Classic Award, and the Community Appearance Commission Award. So I'll try to arrange that next week so we can stay on schedule. But just to give you an update on where we are with that, the judging has been scheduled for next Thursday, October 1st from 1 to 4. It will be virtual as well. Typically, we have 1 CAC member sit in on that just to sort of bear witness. So if anyone's interested in volunteering to do that, let me know. I can also send out an email to folks. And then the actual award date has been set to November 13th, which is a Friday, and it'll be at 11 o'clock, and it also will be virtual. And speaking with the marketing department, we have a fairly good idea of how we can run that. Typically, how we've run it in the past is that a CAC member provides welcome to folks coming to the event. The planning department director will introduce the keynote speaker. The keynote speaker will give their address, and that usually lasts about 30-35 minutes. Rodney Swink will be the keynote speaker for this event. And then once he has done his presentation, it will then come back for the presentation of awards. In the past, when we actually had in-person events, that was a live reading with PowerPoint going through the different winners. This time around, we can either do something similar to that as we've done in the past, just virtual, essentially, just like Dakota did his presentation. We can do that with a CAC member reading the script live. Marketing can also basically do that whole presentation as one video, potentially with voiceover. And that voiceover can either be a CAC member or potentially someone from marketing can do that voiceover. And they have, marketing has the capacity for someone to go in and, I'll prepare the script as I've done in the past. And you just, they have a whole setup for you can do that voiceover if you wish. So it's sort of how we wish to go for it. What I need from y'all, and I'll send out an email as well since we're missing some folks, is there anyone willing to do the welcome and potentially do the voiceover? That's
I can do that.
You can, okay. And then for the whole video for marketing, if you're comfortable going and working with marketing to set up a time to sort of go into and record that voiceover, it'll be the same. You've done it in the past. It'll be the same sort of script, very similar to what you've done. And then that way, hopefully, we should just be able to hit play, share screen, hit play, and it will move very fluidly during the virtual event.
Yeah, I think it would look really nice as a video.
Yeah.
I think it would give the opportunity to animate some of the photography of some of the places that were receiving awards and just be a little bit more dynamic than it would be if it was in PowerPoint.
Yeah, that's sort of our thought as well, that since it is going to be a virtual event, you're sort of missing that element of live, in person, that to try to do a video and work with marketing, either, and have them shoot some stuff at the winners, like winning locations, or animate some of the pictures that we have, or what have you. So that's it. We're still going to try to keep it to our 1 hour, 15-minute time frame. That seemed to work out really well. Last year, when we kept it to that time frame, people seemed to appreciate that, and it hopefully will not mess with anyone's schedule during a Friday afternoon.
What time will it start?
It starts at 11.
Amy,
Mm-hmm.
what time is the selection next Thursday? You said you were looking.
It's scheduled from 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
It will go those 3 hours, you think?
I'm not really sure. Typically in the past, we've always done a sort of driving tour of the nominations. Obviously, I don't think anybody wants to be stuck in a van with strangers for 3 hours. So we're going back to doing it through presentation, which is actually how it was done prior to me coming on staff. So it's not uncommon for us to have done this in the past through presentation. So I'm hoping we can do it pretty quickly. But we just have the 3 hour time slot just in case, but hopefully it'll be pretty.
I was interested in being an observer, if you will. That's what you're looking for, somebody just to sit in and watch and listen.
Yeah.
I could volunteer for that.
John, did you have a question or comment?
I had a question. So who's, I might have missed this from before, who is going to look at the projects, or virtually look at the projects to
our jury panel consists of 2 individuals. It's Alyssa Nelson, who is a planner in Salisbury.
It's quite wonderful.
And then she's I believe she works with their Community Appearance Commission. And then also Steve Galanti, who's a planner out of Greensboro. And so the only requirement we have really for our jury panel is that they have to live and work outside of the county. Usually they're planners or landscape architects or something like that. So,
And we didn't have a quorum today, but how would we have participated today? Would we have shared our comments or thoughts, or?
So for those 3 selected, the 3 awards that are CAC selected, essentially there's 2 nominations for each award. So that's the George Black Award. We've discussed the merits of each nomination, and you all would have selected the winner for that. And so that's what we need to have, the winner selected probably within the next week or two, hopefully by next week, before the judging is helpful.
I see. Okay. And that's what you'll send out an email to figure out how we can do that.
Yeah, and it's helpful because for the other two award categories, for the Community Appearance Commission Award and then for also the Classic Award, those nominations actually came from outside. They were outside submittals that meet the criteria for those awards. So if they do not win if they don't win for your selection, then they go to the jury panel. And so they sort of get a double whack at it for one of the 7 that are selected by the jury. So we'd like to kind of have those already selected, so that way we don't get an issue where, one project is selected by both. That's not possible. So.
Thank you.
That's all I had for education and awards.
Oh, thank you, Amy. I don't believe there is any new updates on trees, woodlands, or gateways. And no new or old business. I was hoping for more attendance, both so we could get votes on the minutes and projects, but do you guys want to do a little bit of the background questionnaire? I know not everyone's here, but it would still be nice to get to know you guys a little bit better.
Why not?
Could we wait until maybe the next meeting so we have more attendance?
Sure. If you'd like to do it that way, that would work just fine.
The next meeting is going to be a real meeting, right? Going to be in the city council chambers?
We will continue to meet virtually for the foreseeable future, if that's okay with everyone. Pretty much the only committees or commissions that are meeting in person are quasi-judicial, so that's your Board of Adjustment and your HRC. Because they require anyone with standing has to give approval to have a virtual meeting. And the idea of who has standing is pretty broad. The state did not really specify what standing meant. So it could be, anybody. So for that reason, they have to meet in person. Otherwise, if it's, we're going to try to continue to meet virtually. I mean, it's not ideal, but we'll just sort of keep going the way we're going until things change.
Hopefully we'll get to all meet in person soon.
Yes.
But until then, I think we'll wait till next time and hopefully get much better attendance. Hopefully it wasn't a technical issue. You never know. But with that, I'd say we will bring an end to the September CSE meeting. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. John Larson.
Oh, he's already off.
He's already gone? Okay, I'll just give him a call.